Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Here I am going to discuss about the core data in SwiftUI. We can going to implement the core data in our new project and also how the core data was integrated in SwiftUI and also what are the features we are going to use and also what is core data and then how the core data will be used in the SwiftUI and also how to set up the SwiftUI, set up the core data in SwiftUI and also what is the attributes and entities in core data and also how to fetch, how to create, how to delete the data from the core data. So let's dive into here. So what is core data? Core data is a framework and for it's only for managing the persistent data in SwiftUI by using iOS, macOS, watchOS and also tvOS. And it's act like in a graph, which means object graph. It's like look like a tree. It's not a database. Okay. Core data is not a database. Underlining this word. Okay. And also the offer tools in the core data is, which means one is a data storage and also relationship management and changing tracking and also querying the large data set from the framework. It's efficiently we can use it. Okay. And also why use core data in SwiftUI? The seamlessly integrated in the SwiftUI using fetch request, which means the SwiftUI and also the core data was integrated seamlessly. By using the fetch request property wrapper, we can easily fetch the data from the core data. Okay. And also once that data was fetched, that will be automatically re-rendered in the SwiftUI view. So that also very easy. And then we can able to manage the complex relationship efficiently, which means we have one-to-one or one-to-many relationship in our entity. We can easily manage the data. Okay. And also we can handle the large set of data efficiently by using fetch and the caching. Okay. So first of all, we have to set up our core data in our new projects, in SwiftUI projects. Okay. So when we creating a new project in Xcode, there is a pop-up will be appear like how to fill the product name and also bundle ID like that. In that last checkbox, we can find it that use core data in your project like that. We have to click the checkbox to enable, and also once that was enabled, we located in our some other place in our system. Then we open our project, that will be show the XC data model ID, which means there is a Xcode data model ID which that will be store our entities and attributes, which means with the table. By usually we are telling like as in the database we have mentioned like in a table, so that the table that will be structure will be created there. And also we can configure the persistent controller by using to handle the values from the data from the data core data, as well as we can use it in the SwiftUI by using the intermediate that is called the manager object context. That will be we have to implement as an environment. Then only we can easily create, fetch, delete, whatever the operations we can do it. Okay. So here what is the entity and the attributes? Okay. Defining the entities, it's nothing but that is an object in the database, which means there is a table like that. And also what is the attributes? That is a property in the entity, which means there is a we create as a columns like that. So the user is a table and also name and age is the attributes. Okay. And also we can set the relationship for the entities. If we need, we can connect multiple entities as a relationship, one-to-one or one-to-many. Okay. And also I have the example for that. Entity is in a task and also attributes like a title and is completed like that. That's a bool value. Okay. Then we can find the how to fetch the data from the core data and also how to display. Okay, that's a thing. Here we use the property wrapper for fetch request. Okay, use fetch request to fetch the data in the SwiftUI. So there is a query which I created. There is a fetch request. There is we mentioned the entity as a task entity, and also if we need, we can sort it by some orders. Like I mentioned here, this is a task title, and also we mentioned like an ascending or descending order. That also I mentioned as an ascending as a true. Okay. Once that was created, fetch request was created, we have to mention the variable for the fetch result, then only the values of the fetch request that will be allocated in the task data to use in our SwiftUI projects. Okay. Then we can able to display the data in the list view or any other views in the SwiftUI. Okay. So, and also how to add and delete the data in the SwiftUI by using core data. So, it's also very easy. We have already having the managed object context. By using managed object context, we create as a new records, like a new task is equal to task, which means that's an entity. We mentioned the which managed object context, that's also we mentioning the view context, and also new task dot title as we valuing the mentioning the value, there is a for a title, that's in a land core data like that. And also once the instance was created, we also mentioned the value for that instance. Then we have to compulsory we have to store in the context dot save, then only the values will be stored in the core data. And also same thing for while deleting, there is an we having the create we already having some task, we mention the task for delete of particular task, and also we have to save that from to the context, then only the values will be stored in the core data. Okay. And then we have some features also. Fetching, we can use some predicates as well as the filtering data, and also we can manage the relationship to the between of entities, and also we can patch the operation by performance optimization, and also data migration when schema is changes. Okay. So now demo. So here I having the new project. So here this is an Xcode data model ID. The UI will be appear look like this. There is an entity. If we need, we can click the add button here to create a new entities, as well as in the entity we have some attributes like a timestamp, which mentioned as in a data type as a date. So we can storing the data in the timestamp attribute. Okay. And also if we having some more than one entities, we can able, if we need to relationship with this, which means that one to one or one to many, we can also do it in here. Okay. By configuring the two entities, combining the two entities, or merging like we have to fetch some array of items like that. Okay. This is a setup for the core data. And also our Xcode was created as a predefinedly as a persistent controller, which has there is a singleton class, shared instance, and also if we need to do something in a preview, we can able to add some items here. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is a setup for the core data. So there is no need to touch here. And then and also in our SwiftUI app, as a landing struct main class, here the system was already implemented like a persistent controller is equal to persistent controller dot shared instance. Okay. And also we mentioning here environment as managed object context is for persistent state, persistent controller dot container dot context, which means the container dot context that is here available in the persistent controller, we mentioning that, then only we can able to create, delete as well as fetch. Okay. In the SwiftUI view, we have to get the managed object context by using the property wrapper of environment by the mentioning the managed object context, and also we mentioned as a private where view context, then only we can easily use the view context as a managed object context in our SwiftUI view. Okay. And also I having the fetch request. In the fetch request, I have the sort descriptor of item dot stamp ID. One that is we have only one property attribute, so we can use it that by using the ascending order. Okay. And also we mentioning the fetch result also. Once that was completed, we can able to fetch the system will be auto fetch the values from the item entity, and also that have the whole value in the items variable. Okay. In the body of the SwiftUI view, I mentioned the navigation view and also list. Inside of the list, we have the for loop for the items to loop that, and also we create the each rows in the list. Okay. here I having the navigation link to navigate from one view to another view. In the label I have mentioned there is a text, there is a timestamp, item timestamp and the format is a timestamp. Here the timestamp is nothing but we have already in the format for the date format, so that the value will be look like this. Okay. So this is a setup for the listing. Once the list was created, if we need to delete the operation, delete the items from the core data, that also easy. In the list there is a dot of on delete perform mentioning the function, which means the delete item I have created already. In that we are getting the offset of the selected items. So based on that offset we map those items and we have to delete each in the view context. Okay. And then we must save the view context. Then only the values will be stored in the or changed in the our persistent storage. Okay. If we need to add some items in the core data, that also easy, which I already showed in the slide. We mentioned the entity and also in the context we mentioned the view context as an attribute, and also we mentioned the property for the timestamp as a date, that's a current date. Once that was the instance was created, we have to store it as in the core data framework. Then only that will be stored. Okay. So this is a setup. This is for the SwiftUI view. If we need to do some operation in the preview, that also easy by using the view content view environment. We mentioning as a managed object context persistent controller preview container dot view context, which means it will be managed separately but it's not affect our actual data. Okay. So this is a setup. Here you see I have the preview for that class, which contains the content view which implemented in the core data. So when I click the plus button, that will be appear the new rows, and also if I need to remove that item, I just swipe right and click the delete button to remove those. Okay. And also if we need to do some junkly, and also we can click the edit button and delete the each records. This is a functionality which I have implemented in the core data for adding, which means creating and deleting and also fetching data from the core data. That's a demo. Okay. These are the things which we learned in the core data in SwiftUI. I hope you understand the concept for the core data in how to use in the SwiftUI. You do some practice to learn much more, and also more than one entities to implement the relationship between the two entities, or one to one or one to many entities. I hope you enjoy the video. You learned something today. Thank you so much. Thank you.